Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. It's June now, which means it's my last month of being in my 20s. Life hit me pretty hard this week. Not in the way that it hits most people turning 30. I never wanted that indoctrinated path. But we all have plans for life. Oftentimes those plans are made for us, or plans that we made that were influenced by the world around us. And in my 20s, I dropped the plans made by others and rewrote a future that I wanted to create for myself. In the last few years, I'd really been trying, over and over again, forcing pieces to fit, making the same moves in life and wondering why those moves weren't taking me where I wanted to go. And these last few days, it really hit me that I can't go the places I want to go by making the same decisions that led me to where I am now. I realized how constricted I'd made myself. Maybe the plan I made myself was too limiting. Maybe adhering to the plan simply meant a tightening of the path in front of me. Maybe surrendering to life means opening an unlimited path. So this spring, I planted all of my plants using a soil blocker in attempts to avoid using plastic in my garden. And 10 out of 10, I would recommend a soil blocker. However, in my attempts to not use plastic, I made cardboard tags to label my plants. Because I figured, why not use a resource I have on hand? Tags, no bueno. Soil blockers? Yeah, would recommend. But tags, I have no idea what anything is. So all of these flowers I'm trying to sort through. I'm making labels for all of the flowers that I grew, and we're gonna sort them now. So what happened was, I became obsessed with Floret Farm over the winter, which inspired me to deep dive into flowers. So with all the new things I'm growing this year, I really don't know what plants I'm looking at when I'm looking at these seedlings because I've never grown them before. And the cardboard tags are goners. And I had this whole plan, down to the square inch basically, which is entirely out the window. And I'm not really upset about the change of plan. Not having a plan is honestly where I thrive. However, I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed because my lack of having a plan has created a lot more work for myself. I just really overwhelmed myself by doing this. And I just needed to take a second away from planting for a day or two because it just really overwhelmed me. But I'm ready to handle this now. And I've gotten to the point where it's better to put them in the ground and move them and dig them up if I need to. And if they aren't what I thought, it's just gonna be okay. And honestly, that feels like a metaphor for my life in itself. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. I think I need to stop creating more work for myself by not taking simple steps that help me in the long run. But I see it now, and that's what's important. I spent the week learning the leaf structure of every flower in the universe, basically. It felt like that, at least. And honestly, I just surrendered and planted things and figured what's important is getting them in the ground. There's no harm in moving things around once they flower and I know what they are. Or I'll just leave them as is, and that's cool too. The flowers will all bloom as they should, no matter what I do. In the long run, not everything has to bloom or be in the perfect spot for me to enjoy them. And I think I need to remember that more often. The plan we set for ourselves is almost never how the actual plan goes. And I mean, who would want it like that anyways? The universe seems to have much more creative plans than anything I could ever come up with. But yeah, this week I got everything in the ground, and I think it's safe to say I learned a lot. the storm just ended and it is yellow out. This is so cool. What do you think about the yellow? Crazy, right? June has been fast, a wonderful kind of fast. A kind of fast you can't help but to slow down because you don't want to miss anything. I had my first cup of chamomile this week, which felt like an initiation into summer. Soon more and more things will be ready to harvest, and that just feels so good and empowering. Something I set in the ground so long ago finally coming to fruition. Why does that just make me so emotional and happy? I start most mornings harvesting chamomile. I pick the fresh flower heads and leave them out to dry for the rest of the day. I also baked a loaf of lavender sourdough this week. Oh my goodness, yeah, that was good. Lavender flavored things are truly the best. In my head, I'm just thinking of all the ways I want to use lavender and chamomile now that there's so much abundance. Okay, and starting this week, I actually will be gone. I'm coaching soccer camp. You heard me, soccer camp. So basically, I came out of the womb coaching soccer, and I really thought that was my path. Partly because it was what I've always done, and partly because it was what my mentors were always pushing me to do to move forward as a coach. And then one day I just decided I didn't want to do it anymore, and I walked away. And now I'm making stories on the internet, which I was always making content. To others it might have looked like a curveball, but for me it just became my next step. Instead of giving all my energy to growing things for others, I started doing things for myself. So yeah, maybe my path wasn't what others would have thought for me, but I know it's what I always wanted for myself. And now I just take every step forward I see in front of me and follow what excites me the most. And surprisingly to me, that means I'm back coaching next week at camp. But then later this month, we're actually going to some World Cup games, which I cannot believe I'm saying out loud. It just doesn't feel real, and I feel so grateful to be able to go. So yeah, there's a lot coming up, and I'm not exactly sure when I'll see you guys next. But until then, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. You do not know how much your energy means to me, truly. And I hope you're all having a wonderful June. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.